Using evidence in your writing is critical to your success in the workplace. The fourth competency of business writing is the effective use of evidence. Following these principles of evidence-driven writing will help you achieve your goals and increase your credibility. There are 2 lectures on evidence-driven writing. This lecture covers the types of evidence you are likely to use in business writing. Erica Dvorsky, the COO of an accounting and consulting firm, explains how she used several types of evidence in her report providing recommendations for the Lawrence Community Shelter. The report included financial evidence from the shelter and an analysis of 23 peer organizations. The report shared information in written text and used graphs and charts to visually represent their findings. Throughout the evidence lectures, I'll provide examples of business documents to show the variety of ways you could use evidence in your career. Evidence can be categorized as either a primary or secondary source, depending on if the information is gathered internally by your organization or found from an external source. Quantitative evidence includes numerical data such as quarterly sales figures or payroll costs. Qualitative evidence is also called descriptive evidence, and it provides an in-depth look at a smaller number of cases or the experience of a few people. A primary source is first-hand research, and it provides information directly from a source. This is research you or your organization conducts, such as interviews or surveys. Customer survey data is one example of a primary source. Hannah Madden is an account administrator at SMG, a customer experience research company. She uses survey data from customers at fast food restaurants to help answer a business question from the client. Primary sources allow you to tailor questions directly to your purpose and gather information about a targeted group. However, primary sources take time to gather and can be expensive. Colin Dutton, a claims professional with Travelers Insurance, conducts interviews to investigate insurance claims. He carefully documents each conversation to provide an accurate representation of the steps used to reach his decision on the claim. In your business classes at KU, you'll practice using primary sources in your business writing. In this team project from a customer relationship management class, a survey of students about the Watkins Health Center was the primary source used to create recommendations for how Watkins can improve the patient experience. In this example from an accounting class, information about the finances and operations of the hotel are the primary sources students use to create their memo. Secondary sources involve using research from industry reports, trade publications, newspapers, government agencies, journals, websites, and books. The research you'll conduct will vary depending on the industry and your role in the organization. Industry reports or trade publications are secondary sources that can provide information on industry trends. A CFO might use this 44-page report from Deloitte to help persuade the CEO of their company to implement blockchain in their accounting department. A local restaurant manager can follow industry trends and prepare for future growth with this report from the National Restaurant Association. Retail executives can refer to the National Retail Federation blog to read examples of how other retailers are adapting to consumer shopping trends. HR professionals can use insights from the Society for Human Resource Management to help recruit and retain their employees. These are just a few examples of how businesses use secondary sources. You'll practice using secondary sources in your business classes at KU. This management class assignment asks students to use job search sites to research the qualities required in management positions. This business law assignment requires students to use the KU Library to access law reviews and legal reference resources. This example student paper from an international finance class uses the New York Times and Wall Street Journal to analyze the pandemic's impact on the oil industry. Both quantitative and qualitative evidence are used in business. Quantitative evidence is numerical-based evidence, including financial or operational information. Quantitative data can provide a broad look at a large number of cases. This financial data used in an accounting class assignment is an example of quantitative evidence. The survey about Watkins used a Likert scale to gather information about student experiences at the health center. This is quantitative evidence. By surveying a large number of students, the health center can see trends in student experiences and where to focus their efforts to change. Businesses use annual reports to share their financial and operational achievements with their shareholders. Annual reports provide quantitative data about the organization. This might be shared in paragraph form, as shown here in Amazon's annual report, or using visual and graphic design elements as shown in Colgate's annual report. Notice that each report uses multiple pieces of evidence to provide a complete picture of their accomplishments for the year. Qualitative evidence is also called descriptive evidence, and it provides an in-depth look at a smaller number of cases or the experience of a few people. Susan Gillespie, a business owner and market researcher, explains the role of qualitative research in business in this quote from the Insights Association, a professional organization for market researchers. Businesses can use qualitative evidence as they look to improve their products and services, foster employee engagement, and attract new customers or employees. Using personal or expert testimony is an example of qualitative evidence. Expert testimony is from an individual who is considered an expert in the field. This Society for Human Resource Management article about students taking a gap year after college graduation uses expert testimony from the founder and CEO of Gap Year Solutions, a Boston-based consulting firm. When using expert testimony, examine the person's credentials and make sure their expertise is relevant. When including expert testimony in your writing, explain the person's credibility so the reader understands their expertise on the topic. Notice how the article used expert testimony, qualitative evidence, in conjunction with survey data, quantitative evidence, from Penn State University about the 300% increase in students taking a gap year. Personal testimony is from an individual who has experienced the situation and therefore has information to share about the topic. If the gap year article included a story from a student who completed a gap year internship after college, this would be personal testimony. In this article, intern Jordan Topoleski provides information about his experience as CEO for 1 month at Adecco Group. This is an example of personal testimony. Companies use testimonies from current clients or customers as qualitative evidence to attract new clients. Davis & Company, an employee communication consulting firm, uses quotes from past clients to demonstrate their success in previous projects. Square, the financial services and mobile payment company, includes customer stories on their website to show how their products have helped other small businesses. Business writing tasks frequently require you to use a combination of evidence to fulfill your goals and demonstrate your credibility. Using qualitative and quantitative evidence in combination is often an effective way to persuade your reader. This press release from Hill's Pet includes quantitative evidence about their disaster relief network, including the amount of food and money donated and the number of animal shelters helped. In addition, they used qualitative evidence, a quote from a director of an animal shelter helped by the relief network. In this TheraEase business plan, the owner uses funding and budget information and descriptive evidence about the target market and product's benefits to convince the reader to invest. Deloitte's Sports Industry Outlook uses their own survey, a primary source, in conjunction with a study from Seton Hall University, a secondary source, to provide a complete picture of consumer preferences. You'll practice this skill of using multiple types of evidence in your business classes. This accounting class example requires students to use both quantitative and qualitative information in a financial report. In your Business 305 report, you'll use financial records, annual reports, testimonials, reviews, and news stories to demonstrate the strengths of a nonprofit organization. The Business 305 assignments are designed to let you practice finding and using primary and secondary sources and qualitative and quantitative evidence.